Ever wondered if a single, accidental brush against a floating balloon could end your life in seconds? What if the ocean's most delicate beauty was actually its most efficient assassin? Welcome to the Midnight Zone, thousands of feet below the waves, where the pressure is bone-crushing and the guest list is strictly limited to nightmare fuel. In this eternal darkness, you don't find many teeth or claws. Those take way too much energy to maintain. Instead, meet the killer jellyfish, a creature that's basically 95% water and 5% pure, unadulterated nope. Evolution decided that instead of chasing dinner, these translucent ghosts would just wait. Equipped with specialized stinging cells that fire faster than a speeding bullet, they've turned a simple touch into a high-tech execution. It's nature's ultimate paradox, a brainless, drifting blob that's mastered the art of the perfect crime. Imagine trying to survive in a place where the lights are permanently cut, the AC is stuck on Arctic blast, and the weight of the entire ocean is trying to turn you into a pancake. Welcome to the deep sea. At these depths, the pressure is so soul-crushing it would crumple a high-tech submarine like a discarded beer can. It's a world of absolute, oppressive darkness. So dark that pitch black actually feels like a glowing recommendation. This creates a massive biological nightmare. How do you stay alive when there's zero sunlight and almost nothing to eat? If you're a high-energy predator like a great white, you're basically dead on arrival. Your metabolism would burn through your fuel reserves before you even found an appetizer. The solution? Nature decided to go full minimalist chic. Evolution in the deep sea is like that one college roommate who refuses to buy a bed because it's too much overhead. Instead of building bulky muscles or expensive eyes, creatures here stripped down to the bare essentials. They became gelatinous, slow, and incredibly energy efficient. It's the ultimate biological budget cut. But don't mistake this laziness for weakness. This is where it gets intense. To save energy, these creatures didn't stop being lethal. They just changed the game. They became sit-and-wait specialists. By doing absolutely nothing, they became the most efficient assassins on Earth. They just drift, looking like a harmless, glowing piece of lace until some poor soul bumps into them. In the abyss, being lazy isn't a personality flaw. It's a masterclass in survival. It's not about being the strongest, it's about being the deadliest while doing the least amount of work possible. Honestly, we could all take notes. So, who is this apex predator ruling the void? Meet our star, a creature that looks like a high-end chandelier floating in a haunted mansion. It's transparent, ghostly, and honestly, a bit pretentious. This is the killer jellyfish, or as I like to call it, the forbidden lace. The problem for any deep-sea hunter is being seen. If you're a big, meaty fish, everything wants a bite. Our friend here solved that by being practically invisible. It's a masterclass in you can't eat what you can't see. But it's not just hiding, it's accessorizing. It glows with a faint hypnotic bioluminescence, like a neon open for business sign in a neighborhood where you definitely shouldn't be wandering after dark. You see this shimmering, delicate beauty with its long, flowing tentacles, sometimes stretching over 30 feet like a bridal veil from hell. And you think, oh, how majestic. That is the last mistake you'll ever make. This isn't a passive piece of drift. It is one of the most efficient killing machines on the planet. Those tentacles are a curtain of absolute doom. It's the ultimate biological bait and switch. It looks like a fragile work of art, but it's actually a high-voltage, chemical warfare-equipped trap that doesn't even have to try. In the deep, beauty isn't a virtue, it's a predatory strategy. If something looks like it belongs in a luxury aquarium, it probably belongs in a horror movie. Just because it doesn't have a face doesn't mean it isn't smiling while it waits for you to make the first move. The problem with being a drifting blob is that fish are fast and you are, well, a blob. To eat, you need to strike before the prey even knows you're there. Enter the Laziest, nature's most terrifying microscopic weapon. It's not just a stinger, it's a high-pressure harpoon coiled like a spring, waiting for the tiniest mechanical trigger. When a victim touches a tentacle, the internal pressure, reaching a staggering 150 atmospheres, explodes. The venomous needle fires out with an acceleration of 5.4 million Gs. That is faster than a bullet leaving a gun barrel. It's so fast that the strike is essentially over before the laws of biology even kick in. By the time the fish's nervous system sends a danger signal to its brain, it has already been pierced by thousands of chemical daggers. It's an automated execution system that hasn't changed in millions of years because, frankly, you can't improve on perfection. You don't need a brain to be a genius if your hardware is this good. In the deep sea, survival isn't about outsmarting your opponent, it's about outspeeding their very ability to feel pain. It's efficient, it's cold, and it's undeniably brilliant. The takeaway is clear. Never underestimate a creature that's 95% water. They've turned physics into a professional hitman. So, the harpoon has fired and the needle has pierced. But a fast strike is useless if your prey can still kick and swim away into the infinite black. In the deep sea, you don't get a second chance. If your dinner struggles, it might rip your fragile, watery body apart. The solution? A chemical cocktail so potent it makes a cobra's venom look like a mild allergy. This isn't just one poison. It's a brutal blend of neurotoxins and cardiotoxins designed to hit Control-Alt-Delete on a victim's entire existence. The moment those toxins enter the bloodstream, it's like a massive power surge hitting a delicate circuit board. The neurotoxins instantly hijack the nervous system, blocking the move signal from the brain to the muscles. The fish doesn't just stop swimming, it literally forgets how to be a fish. Meanwhile, the cardiotoxins are busy turning the heart into a decorative paperweight. It doesn't just slow down, it stops. We're talking about a total systemic shutdown in the time it takes you to blink. What's truly terrifying is the concentration. We're talking about a creature that is 95% water, yet it produces a toxin so lethal that a microscopic dose can take down prey 10 times its size. It's like using a nuclear warhead to swat a fly. Overkill? Maybe. But in the abyss, overkill is just another word for guaranteed dinner. You don't want a fight, you want a funeral. When your survival depends on a single touch, you don't play fair. You bring the deadliest chemistry nature can brew to ensure that once you touch something, it stays touched. It's a ruthless, silent execution that costs the jellyfish almost zero energy. It's not just biology, it's a masterpiece of chemical warfare. And honestly, we should be thankful they live thousands of feet down. If these things decided to move to the beach, we'd all be doomed. The deep sea is a vast, lonely desert. For a small fish, life is a constant search for a meal that doesn't exist, punctuated by the terror of becoming one. This is the ultimate biological problem. In a world with no landmarks and no light, how do you find food without wasting your last calorie? Enter the curtain of doom. Our jellyfish is just hanging there. It's not swimming, it's not stalking. It's basically a living drift net. Then a fish enters the frame. In the dark, the jellyfish's bioluminescence isn't a warning, it's a curiosity. The fish moves closer, looking for a snack, unaware it's about to become the main course. One stray fin flick brushes against a nearly invisible filament. In less than a millisecond, the ballistic physics we talked about kicks in. There is no struggle. There's no epic battle of wills. It's just a violent, silent spasm. The fish's body contorts as the neurotoxins seize its muscles in a permanent, agonizing grip. One moment it was an explorer. The next, it's a rigid statue, being slowly hauled upward toward the jellyfish's waiting stomach. It's like watching a ghost move a puppet. The transition from life to takeout is so fast, it's almost clinical. In the abyss, The most dangerous thing isn't the predator you see coming. It's the one that doesn't even bother to look at you. The jellyfish doesn't hunt with passion. It hunts with a flowchart. Touch equals death. Death equals dinner. It's the ultimate work-from-home success story. No commute, no chasing, just high-speed execution from the comfort of your own gelatinous body. If the deep sea were a business, it would have gone bankrupt millions of years ago. There's no sunlight to power the bottom of the food chain, and dinner only drops by once in a blue moon, literally, in the form of marine snow or the occasional dead whale falling from above. The problem is simple. Biology is expensive. Muscles cost calories. Fast brains cost calories. Chasing a meal is a high-stakes gamble where if you miss, you might not have enough gas left in the tank to try again. Evolution's solution? The jellyfish looked at the energy bill and decided to stop playing the game entirely. While other species were busy evolving complex eyes and powerful tails, the jellyfish took a path of minimalist chic. It stripped down to the bare essentials: no brain, no heart, no bones, and no blood. It is essentially a bag of animated salt water with a grudge. By getting rid of the expensive biological hardware, it slashed its overhead costs to nearly zero. This lazy strategy is actually a stroke of evolutionary genius. Because it spends almost zero energy to exist, it can survive for months without a single meal. While superior predators are starving to death because they can't find enough food to power their big, fancy brains, the jellyfish is just vibing. It's the ultimate survivor because it outweights everyone else. It's not a mindless blob. It's a biological bunker designed to outlast the apocalypse. Sometimes, better doesn't mean faster or smarter, it means being the most efficient. In a world of scarcity, the one who needs the least is the one who wins. It's a masterclass in working smarter, not harder. Next, we'll tackle the big question. Could these silent ghosts actually be a threat to us? So here's the million-dollar question. Should you be checking under your bed or your boat for these gelatinous ninjas? After hearing about ballistic harpoons and cardiac shutdown, it's natural to feel a bit of the nopes. The problem is, on paper, we are a perfect target. Soft, slow, and full of delicious electrical signals. If you tangled with one of these in a dark alley, or a dark trench, it wouldn't be a fight. It would be an insurance claim. But here's the climax, and it's the best news you'll hear all day. The abyss is the ultimate bodyguard. These assassins aren't interested in your beach vacation. They live in a world where the pressure is so high it would turn a human body into a very sad, very flat panini. To actually meet one of these killer jellies, you'd need a multi-million-dollar submarine and a death wish. The chances of a deep-sea jellyfish ruining your Sunday swim are essentially zero. In fact, the only way most of us will ever see them is through the lens of a remote-controlled robot. We are separated by miles of freezing water and a crushing weight that acts as a natural no trespassing sign. Nature has a way of keeping its most dangerous experiments locked in the basement. We don't have to fear them, we just need to respect the distance. The real twist? While they pose zero threat to us, our actions, like ocean warming and pollution, are starting to mess with their basement. We aren't their prey, but we might be their biggest problem. Ultimately, the killer jellyfish is a reminder that the world is much bigger, weirder, and more hostile than our sunny coastlines suggest. It's their ocean. We're just the curious neighbors peering through the keyhole. So, we've journeyed into the abyss where chilling out is a deadly profession. We've seen how a creature with zero brain cells managed to outsmart the energy crisis of the deep sea by simply being too efficient to fail. It's a masterclass in minimalist living. No heart, no bones, just high-speed harpoons and a toxic handshake. The insight here is that evolution doesn't always reward the biggest or the busiest. It rewards the one who solves the problem with the least amount of overhead. In a world obsessed with the hustle, the jellyfish is our ultimate, albeit terrifying, spirit animal. It proves that you don't need to chase success if you've already built the perfect trap. If you were stuck in the pitch-black abyss, which superpower would you rather have? Being completely invisible or having a one-touch knockout? Let me know your survival strategy in the comments. If you enjoyed this dive into nature's beautiful nightmares, hit like and subscribe. Share this with that one friend who's efficiently lazy. They might just be evolutionarily superior. See you in the deep.